Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Adventures in Arcane Space. Once again, I'm your Dungeon Master, AuldDragon, and the players are...
Hi, I'm David Big Mac Shepherd. I play Braxon Miacc, who's a human fighter from an asteroid near Brow.
Hi everyone, I'm Dakamisama and I play Solas ab Ebha, who is Half-Elven Cleric Mage of Ogma.
Hey, I'm James. I play Ockar, human paladin from Brawl.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sailor Motor. I play Finnel'ar Mohani, a druid from Grayspace.
Hey there, hi, I'm Zach and I play Lafdul Moonglade, a specialty priest of Erva and Illicir, and a occasional thief. So he's a multi-class. He's from Realm Space, from Evermeet. Fantastic place for elves, terrible place for non-elves. And his gimmick as being part of a Mischiefmaker is reinventing themselves by coming up with creative titles. So Lafdul's current title is the dysfunctionally dutiful delinquent. So the players may find that amusing for the pre-stream conversation we had.
How do you spell start again?
There was also a little pre-stream discussion about Lafdul getting hugged by the rug of smothering, which I did mention. It's a good thing that it wasn't a rug of mothering. That would have been so much worse. Which then, of course, led us to other April edition magic items like the Staff of Striking, Local 571, and the Robe of Blending, 3-speed. Anyway, we left off last time. Oh, actually, before we do that, I should mention the rerolls available to the party. Currently, and anyone who wishes to give a reroll to any of the players or myself can just do 500 bits. Choose the player that you wish it to go to. Currently, Braxon has 0, Ockar has 0, Finn has 2, Lafdul has 2, Leva has 3, Solas has 1, and I, the Dungeon Master, only have 3. That should be so many more. I think that you guys should most definitely give me lots more rerolls. It'll make fights with the players so much more fun.
If you want more rerolls, just do what James does.
What, and donate money to himself?
I just slip a $5 under the table to
that's true.
To the Dungeon Master. It's fine. Alright, we left off last time. The party has entered a new crystal sphere, Aerocall space, and made contact with what is basically a lost enclave of the Elven Imperial Navy. They're currently docked with one of their crown bases, consisting of 5 man-of-war ships with the wings grown together, bow pointing outward, and like a central tower built in the middle, and it serves as a platform. Currently orbiting one of the moons of the cool fire world Krokaroth. And you basically had a debrief session last time. The elves wanted to find out as much as they could about your trip so far, who you are, where you're going, what you know about the local spheres, potential threats that you've encountered, and more information about this these directions that you have, rather obtuse directions on how to get back to your home sphere, or at least your known space. And they were quite interested in that, but they, after interviewing you and getting what information they could, they're basically going to be discussing the situation for a time now. They have not given you free reign of their station at all. You are basically restricted to your ship, but if you need anything or want anything, you can easily ask. So at this point, you're basically just waiting until you hear what they have to say.
Yeah.
And while waiting, is there anything that you guys want to do? You have no idea how long it's going to take, although Lafdul could easily tell you that some of these deliberations can take a fair amount of time.
Elves have got all the time in the universe, you know. There is well.
So we're outside the council chamber, basically.
You're back on your ship at this point.
Okay. Solas would, like I last said, Solas would be interested in finding out about the history of this sphere and hear about the history from the ship we rescued of their sphere.
Yeah, the elves can easily conduct you over to the other vessel at basically any time you want. And you did get some information about the history and local, like, kind of political structure of the sphere at this time.
Yeah, Solas is basically making notes that he can then later on report to the Seekers.
All right. Is there anything? Yeah, Braxon, go ahead.
Braxon will want to have a chat with the other captain at some point and get a feel for if he wants to go off on his own or if he thinks he might want to follow us. I'm guessing he probably wants to go off on his own. They do kind of owe us a finder's fee, but we don't need that straight away.
Yeah. So after they've been after you were returned to your vessel, you saw them being conducted away, like their officers being conducted away to speak to the elves. And after they get back, you and Solas head over there. Solas kind of goes to like talk to the sailors and get their stories and legends and stuff like that. And you speak to the captain, and the captain says, yes, unfortunately they have not heard, the elves here have not heard of our home spheres either, which I suppose makes some sense since we'd never encountered their organization before, and they seem to be quite large, the current situation notwithstanding.
Yeah,
but
Braxon will tell him that the Elven Navy is widely known in the region of space we come from.
Yes, and my guess is that is people in my known space have had no contact with people in your known space. But maybe by now that has happened. Maybe if I could get to your homeworld, that might make a difference. But I think it better if we set out searching for ourselves. I have spoken to the elves, and they're deliberating still about our situation. But speaking to my officers, I believe we will probably head to Erdrath, and that's the other moon of Krokaroth. It's a flat world,
right?
And that has a number of elves, Averiel and Aarakocra there.
Yeah,
and he says, we'll try to sell off what we have on our current surviving cargo and pick up some other cargo and begin to make some runs. I've gotten some information about nearby spheres that I may wish to visit, see if they've heard of anything. Anything about our systems. But once I can sell off my cargo, I will be able to pay you at least something.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically a matter of what you think is fair. We don't want to bankrupt you.
Well, it's also what I can afford and still be able to purchase cargo.
Exactly.
But I will most definitely see what I can do.
Exactly. I mean, it does sound to me like you probably be better off staying in this local area because we've got a long journey ahead of us, and all of our legs on our journey are going to be routes that people don't know of. So that could be taking you further away from where you were.
Yes, that's what we'd been thinking ourselves.
I just wasn't sure if you was going to just decide to make a new life for yourself, which you could do here, or whether you was going to spend time trying to find your way home.
Oh, we're definitely going to try to find our way home.
Okay. Well, then, I wish you the best of luck with that. Braxon will shake his hand.
He clasps your hand tightly in thanks for your rescue. And they're getting prepared to leave, but they're also just wait. They also have to wait for the elves to give them the go ahead. And
Solas would also see if the wizard of this ship has any spells he would like to share.
he's not particularly powerful, and he doesn't have any interesting spells.
Okay. I mean, it doesn't. There are some spells on the lower levels that Solas would be interested into finding out also.
Yes, but I didn't generate an actual spell list for him, and so it's just easier for me to say that he doesn't have anything that you're interested in. Mostly common spells. He's low level. You know, I mean, he's the kind of wizard that is a bit more of a hedge wizard and just what a tradesman can afford. Tradesmen generally cannot afford powerful spellcasters to operate their vessels.
We should introduce him to Finn. If he's a hedge wizard. Finn likes hedges.
So you see the Starlight preparing for the trip. They have, like you, the elves have offered to give them standard supplies, just since they, they're in such dire straits as it is.
What was the name of the sphere that the Starlight came from?
Give me a second. Let me look that up.
And the nation.
I thought it was the Stoltis Empire when it was something. Something sounds like that.
Their sphere is Solarus space, SOLURS space. And they were that's named for the main empire of that sphere. And they were traveling to a sphere called Ikari space. IKARI.
I suppose we should go over that and see if it sounds like anything in any of our
You already would have. Like when
Okay,
we first
cool.
when they first came, when they first were revived, in the time immediately after, like you would have asked literally every single member of your crew if they'd heard of either of them.
Ikari space, and what was the first one again?
Solarus space.
Saurus.
Right.
Yeah, basically, Solas is recording their stories and information about their nation in hopes that someday seekers might, if they find them, they can reference their notes that and know that these have been encountered before.
Yep. That's worthwhile.
Braxon says to the captain or that if we stumble onto any information about either of those spheres while we're looking for our own information, we'll try and get a message to you.
He thanks you and appreciates that. Like he would tell you enough about his plans that you'd realize that he's going to find out what the safe trading spheres are nearby from here, and go to the major ports there and talk to people, get cargo, take do a trade run to that, and then when they get there, ask the people who are there and see if anyone knows, and then if they don't, move on to the next one, kind of thing.
Yeah, we're essentially doing the same thing, but he's trying to do it and pay his way.
Yeah,
which we do a different way.
Well, you actually have directions. He is basically going to be
Yeah.
And then if he gets to a neighboring sphere, he's going to find out what spheres that one is connected to that are considered
Yeah.
safe, and he'll go to
Yeah.
those, and so basically, you'd get the impression that either they're going to just keep doing this until they find a way home, or they just get tired of it and decide to settle down.
Mm.
And certainly along the way, some of their crew are likely to get fed up earlier than others and stuff like that.
Braxon says to Solas in front of the captain and the helmsman if he's still around. Hey, maybe we should look and see if some of your people, the Seekers, are here, or some other group that collects information.
I think last time Solas asked about seekers from the Elven Navy in here.
Right.
And I think Old said that they are not present in here, that they are known for the Elven Navy, but not present.
Right.
Yeah.
Not present in this sphere. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so day passes, and you can see that the Starlight has gotten permission to leave. The captain stops by to just once again wish you and your crew luck before heading off. And he does inform you that he has a contact on the other moon, Airdrath. That he's going to sell his cargo to, and he says that he will leave the funds there. And it's just another moon, so once you're done here, basically it's just going to be, like less than an hour's trip, and you'll get there. And
considering we've got to sell stuff off, so.
One thing Solas would inquire from the Elven Navy, by the way, is that if they know any larger libraries, archives in the system that he could access.
nothing in the way of public ones. There might be some that you could get access to by asking people, but nothing that's like public.
So I take it we got the name of the contact on Airdraft.
Yeah, Airdraft. Yeah, you basically just when you go to Airdraft. You'll
so Braxon will thank him and he'll say, in the unlikely event we pick up any information that's useful to you, we'll try and leave it with the same contact.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
If Solas is present, he just mentions that if we find out anything, I can just send them information directly.
You can. Oh, excellent.
Did you learn something?
Solas has a spell that can, with that spell, he can basically enter the other person's dream and tell them what he wants.
Okay.
I'm not sure if that travels over between spheres. I'll have to look that up later.
I know the Horizon, the Oriental Priest one doesn't. That was 3rd level.
This is 5th level spell.
I'm guessing you'd only be doing that within the sphere anyway.
It's 5th level spell and it doesn't say.
Does it say anything about?
No, it would have to be in the thingy book, wouldn't it?
Probably, but does it say anything about like, could you enter the dreams of someone in Sigil right now, kind of thing, like across planes?
It doesn't say anything about the distance.
Okay, I will take a look later.
Yeah, the only thing I know is the Horizon Dream, which is the 3rd level priest version of the same spell, was limited to the same sphere. But that didn't say specifically on the spell. It said in one of the Spelljammer books where it describes the limitations of spells.
Right. I'll look it up and I'll compare those two spells and stuff like that. Like the reason sending works is because sending specifically does cross planar boundaries and stuff like that. So, but Dream is substantially more like, you can do so much more with that spell. So
Yeah, but dream is also just one-way communication.
Sure, but you can still do substantially more with it. So I'll look that up in between sessions. Let me make a note of that. Okay. So later that day, this is the next day after the beginning of the session. Lieutenant Erlor comes to your vessel to inform you what the Elven Council has decided. And so you gather your officers together to speak. Lenelius would be there as well.
Yeah.
And he says, we've verified your account and compared it with what we got from Lenelius. And we are most certainly prepared to help you. After all, this is in our best interest as well, if we can get back to in contact with the rest of the Imperial Navy. We would most definitely be benefiting from that as well. We will be outfitting an Elven man-of-war to accompany you as well, at least once you leave. And we've done some research, and we believe the Blood Star may be referring to a specific constellate.
Ah.
That constellate is known as the Wounded Warrior, and one of the stars in that constellation is red, and the color does vary over time. It is said to be a wound that the warrior keeps taking, and it bleeds and dries, and he takes a wound again, and it bleeds. The star changes color with that cycle. Unfortunately, we know of no portal there, and only the constellates that have known and useful portals are well known enough for the prices to be paid. So we do not know the price that is necessary for traveling through a portal, if that is in fact, if that consulate does in fact guard a portal.
Yeah.
However, there was a survey done many centuries ago of all the constellates and what prices they may require for such travel, should they be guarding a portal. Unfortunately, only the ones that were of particular interest to us and the merchants that we have associations with have been recorded. The one who carried out the survey was the current admiral in charge of the entire fleet here. That is Velthiad Larison. He is, in his much younger days, he carried out the survey. Unfortunately, as the admiral of the entire fleet, he is quite busy, and I understand that he has been suffering some nightmares of late as well. So it may take us some time to be able to get an interview with him and speak with him about that.
Okay.
He is currently on Darethal below us. That is our main force, where we also grow our vessels. When the time comes that we can speak with him, would you be prepared to shuttle down with some officers to speak with him?
Okay. Would it help if there might be a way for us to find out how to deal with his nightmares?
It might just be his age, Braxon.
I suppose so. Yeah, you elves do get quite old.
Well, does he describe it like the past life memories leaking through?
He has no idea. He has just been, like, you get the impression that this is something that people are talking about, as opposed to something that has been officially stated or something like that.
Mm.
Well, that sounds like a good lead. I thought we were going to have to go around searching for leads.
Well, I mean, you may still have to. I do not know what the price that the wounded warrior would require of you.
Yeah, there is that. There is that. Maybe we need to carry some bandages or something like that. Do the consulates tie into any sort of local religions?
They do figure into the mythologies, and basically every culture in the sphere that can see that, or every native culture that can see that constellation. Errolor will tell you that they have myths about a wounded warrior. Like the Aarakocra see it as the mate of a kingdom's queen who guarded her against an attack, took a mortal wound, but continued fighting while she and their young escaped and stuff like that. The Averiel have a story about a single warrior holding a narrow pass against a substantial army. You know, and it's very similar. It's always like a noble sacrifice or heroic fight kind of thing.
Yeah.
But again, since these are all like the prices that are required by all of the consulates for passage through their portals are you basically have to go to them and ask, and they don't really have anything in particular to do with like they're more based on the character of the consulate rather than the myths and legends surrounding it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe the myths and legends would be where people have learned that, and it's got turned into a story instead of information. But yeah, I suppose it could be something where it's something completely unexpected.
Well, also the image that you see in the consulate is different. Like when you get close enough to actually make out their form, rather than just the stars. Errolor will tell you that the elves see an elf, the Averiel see an Averiel, and the Aarakocra see an Aarakocra, etc., etc.
Right. So those stars resolve into a being that takes on an appearance that's expected by people.
Yeah, well, when you're close enough, then you can make out more than just the stars themselves. You can see the actual outline of the individual and stuff like that.
Okay. Braxon would ask if consulates permit people to go up and ask them what they need and then go away and get it, or whether we'd be expected to kind of have it on tap.
That really comes down to the character of the individual consulate. Most of them, my impression is that they would certainly allow you to leave. I think the bigger issue is whether they would even deign to speak with you if you're not prepared to pay what they have to ask. Some of them certainly are, after all. He mentions one of the consulates that's needed to pass through to get to one of their trading destinations. All you must do is sing a new song for them. That's all they want. They want a new song that they have not heard before.
Well, yeah.
Which he then gives a chuckle and says, so let me tell you, there's almost always a minstrel along to collect up as many songs as they can in the from the other sphere, since that is almost guaranteed to be a new song.
Yeah.
There's a thriving trade for people to compose new songs for the consulate.
Guessing that any songs we knew would probably be new.
Oh, definitely.
Solas just nods to that and says that is quite the worthwhile payment that he asks.
Yeah, I was wondering if we could just fly straight up to the consulate and ask what it needs. But yeah, I guess we'll try and do some research first.
Well, in this case, I mean, in this case, he doesn't know about this particular one.
Yeah.
Because, like,
Yeah, he doesn't know, so we don't know.
yeah, I mean, in the early days of the Imperial Navy, when they did the survey and found out about, like, so he'll tell you that there were some requirements that were like the elves were like, it doesn't matter if there's a portal there, we're not paying that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then there's others that it was like, we have no idea how to get this thing. And it was very much the case of like, you know, and then any, like, in a lot of ways, because of all these prices, a lot of the routes that they know of are ones that other people have come into this sphere through.
Yeah.
And then, so then people know that there's a route there and there's something out there. And so then they go find out what the cost is and then start using that as a route. So in some cases, until someone comes in from outside, they don't try it.
Yeah. So I guess Braxon would turn to Lafdul if he's around and say, so you got that spell where you ask whether something's going to be a good or a bad idea. Would that spell work for us discussing whether to fly out and speak to the consulate, or would it only work when we're nearby?
If we're far, within a half an hour, yeah. It would give us a general sense.
Okay, so it's no use now, but we could... Yeah, but how do we know when we're half an hour away from being close enough to constellation?
I don't know. I guess we find a good navigator that looks around at anyone but Braxon. Yeah, pretty much. We just have to... I mean, the moment we drop out of spell jamming, I assume that's within half an hour. So
yeah.
So the moment we drop out.
Yeah. I think we'd be quite close to the sphere by then.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, my spell takes 2 minutes.
It might be too late by then.
I feel like our best bet is to talk to this admiral who did all these investigations, see what he knows.
Oh yeah. No, we should do. We should do.
I'd rather do that than just fly off to this consulate and then realize that we can't do the thing because it doesn't want us, because we don't have it.
Yeah.
It's going to sound incredibly, I want to say, dire or maybe a little evil. Has anyone tried slaying the constellates? Are they creatures that can be killed? I mean, I'm just being hypothetical.
I think the constellates are powerful enough to protect themselves from.
So they're on the levels of a deity then.
So, and you're essentially a groundling because you're from Evermeet, Lafdul.
Yeah.
Braxon, upon hearing this, would I don't know, Braxon, you would either this is your choice. This would either be a completely ridiculous idea, so that you just crack up laughing, or it's like a horrifying proposition, and you can look at it's one of these extremes. So it would be up to you how you reacted
Braxon
to that.
would say, that's like saying, could you slay a live world?
Or
these things are big.
Or
God.
Can't we just blow up a planet?
Yeah.
Being of awesome power, then.
Pretty much.
That is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever heard you say, Lafdul, and you've said a lot of ridiculous things.
I don't know everything to Spelljammer. I spent like a good 100 years on...
So yeah, like, these creatures are actually thousands of miles across,
Okay.
Like even if we
millions
could,
of miles across.
even if we could fight one and somehow survive, if we killed it, like we'd make the stars disappear. Maybe who knows what would happen? Would we make a hole in the crystal sphere?
No, I wasn't suggesting any such course of action. I was just curious to know if it was even brought up.
That's
I
one of
mean,
the things. But one of the things that not even the most evil people would even consider doing, or even the dumbest people would consider doing.
I don't know.
Some pretty dumb
sound-
people out there.
And
It
some
sounds
pretty
like
evil people, too.
It sounds like the sort of thing Illithids might try.
Well, especially
I'm certain
Only-
that I'm certain that someone might have tried it before, but
radar.
the end result is within
can-
certainty, with pretty much the person attempting to kill a Constellat being wiped out.
Like
I can only imagine that anybody that attempted is dead.
I mean,
Horribly
there are
dead.
definitely legends of people who have either attempted something like that or just gotten on the bad side of a constellate. Those who get off lightly tends to be a case where their ship was destroyed and they were rescued at some point, kind of thing. Like that, and it's always a case of, oh yeah, I was speaking to a sailor down at the docks who knew a guy who sailed with someone whose brother, his brother's son was, that kind of game of telephone type stuff.
Look, whatever. We shouldn't go picking fights with beings that are way beyond us.
You sure we do that all the time? You see that dragon?
Dragons are not way beyond us. We've killed many of them by now.
the dragon. Are you talking about the one that stole your stuff again?
There are many dragons that we've encountered.
Yeah,
That's
but we've
just
been able
one.
to kill those. We know we can kill a dragon. A consulate is a much, much bigger than a dragon.
Fair enough. You learn something new every day.
There are definitely some things out there that are far beyond dragons.
Well, we also don't know that these things are evil. I mean, this wounded warrior might be performing some valuable function, keeping the sphere safe from evil outsiders.
Consulates aren't typically evil.
So this sphere is unusual in that it's got a lot of them, or
Not particularly but the fact that you need to make a deal with them to get through a portal. That's something that none of you have ever heard of.
Yeah, because usually you could just go right through, but this one is fairly unique.
A sphere with constellates as the constellations is not at all unique. That is fairly common.
No, I meant the deal making.
Right, I understand. I'm just saying. I'm just expanding on what I was saying.
Clearly, the overgod of this sphere is Noel Edmonds.
So, Errolor tells you that as soon as they can arrange a meeting with you and the Admiral,
Okay.
I will get you guys on a ship to head down to the moon.
Okay.
Yes, Lafdul?
I'm going to make some inquiries with Linelius and whatever lieutenant is with us at the moment, and I want to essentially do homework on the Elven Imperial Navy. Eventually, I plan on not necessarily joining, but I imagine this is something that takes a lot of training and reading up on, so I want to essentially, can you recommend me some books or stuff that I could learn or adopt philosophies? It's like an education or something, it's the start of a path.
Linelius would absolutely be interested in talking to you about joining the Imperial Navy, giving you tips for getting through the early examination process that takes years, and getting up through the ranks, which takes decades.
Yeah, I mean, this is not something that's happening anytime soon, but it's kind of like learning about all the functions of the Elven Imperial Navy and where I could potentially fit in if I want to help or assist or be associated with, and just learning.
Yeah. Yeah, he's absolutely happy to talk to you about that. Errolor has other duties, so he cannot do that. And he would also say that not knowing if things have changed outside of this sphere, he doesn't feel that he'd be a good person to talk to about that.
Well, the different perspectives still useful to know.
Lafdul is looking forward for his career as deck swapper.
Probably be a helmsman, to be honest, considering my magical talents.
That is entirely possible. All right, so and with that, Errolor will let you guys get back to doing whatever it was that you were doing, twiddling your thumbs and stuff like that. And
we got wood to process.
You can do that.
I've got a statue to carve still, and this is taking forever. Actually, I'm on week 11 now because a few days have passed.
Right, we got our bag of money. That takes at least 5 minutes a day. taking out the high value coins, putting them in the big box of high value coins, and taking out some low value coins, putting them in there,
and just constantly going, "Ooh, so pretty."
Yeah.
So Solas is quite busy with the task of gathering information and sharing stories.
I mean, I will.
As is his priestly duty.
Lafdul try to. Actually, in the Elven Camp base, I was allowed to pray there. Would they have any scriptures or things about the deities there or books? I mean, it's probably expected of the priest.
Nothing that you aren't familiar with, kind of thing.
No,
it's very very standard stuff.
Yeah. All right. So nothing new.
Yeah.
No, I was trying to think of something I could help Finn with, and obviously, give him the basics of the patron. I don't exactly pay heed to, but he is still of the pantheon that I worship, so I still know enough. Probably.
I mean, you know the basics about Rilithane Ralathils. You don't know the details of his his priestly worship, like what his priests actually do.
No.
But you know about the deity, and you know about his mythology and his role in, in the overall elven mythology and everything like that.
I still need to find a priest, or druid rather.
Oh yeah, old.
Mm-hmm.
I've been meaning to ask: is any one of the crew actually from the Celtic faith?
No, most of them are Ta or Celestian worshippers.
Okay, so there's no crew that Solas needs to basically minister the priestly duties.
No.
Braxon takes care of that.
For the Ta worshippers, sure.
Yeah. How come Braxton does get more XP than Solas?
Because you hit things over the head.
I'm joking.
All right. So that night, well, I guess I should ask: are you guys maintaining your shift schedule, or are you changing it so that everyone is kind of awake at the same time and sleeping at the same time? A crew, officer-wise.
If the crown base is operating like that they have general operating hours, and I guess we might sync up a bit.
Yeah, I mean,
Not too much so that it's like a nightmare to suddenly switch back, but slightly more convenient.
I'm generally not doing that kind of thing. I'm perfectly fine with you guys being able to freely shift sleep schedules around with
Oh, if
within
only you could do
very
that in real
reason.
life.
Yeah, I know. Tell me
I
about it.
think we're in a friendly place.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
know we're going to get an offer of a shuttle down to the world. So unless some of the PCs didn't want to go, it will make sense for us all to be in sync with whenever they'd be likely to send us down. So is there a daytime and a nighttime for the Crown Station?
Yeah, and there is actual, like, I mean, because it is orbiting and rotating and stuff like that. So there
Yeah.
is a physical day-night cycle on the Crown base.
So I think the officers would sync up with the daytime, and we'd use NPCs to look after the ship in the nighttime.
Okay.
I'm guessing that Linnaeus will be coming down with us
Yes.
because he's a Elven Navy person, so
Yeah.
we can't leave him behind. So we'd have to put someone else in charge of the ship.
Nor Tsunfayun or Nemariel would probably be your choices on that.
Yeah, and Numerial's Elven Navy, so we might want to take her with us so that she can advise us.
She's
no
former
longer
Elven
Elven
Imperial
Navy.
Navy, and she's a helmsman now. She's your
Yeah.
hired helmsman, whereas Linnaeus is
Yeah.
a guest.
Yeah, Linnaeus is a guest, and she works for us, so she.
Yeah.
She's paid to give us the right information. Yeah, I suppose we'll play it by ear.
Okay.
We might even leave all of them behind if we're just visiting the world.
Oh yeah, Solas would ask Lanelius if he's planning on staying here or if he wants to continue with us to the known spheres.
Until we get into contact with an Elven Imperial Navy operation that can get me back to gray space, I will be. I plan to accompany you so long as that is all right with your captain.
I would think so, that it's all right. You have proven to be quite good friend for the company.
Yeah. So I mean, like he still has like duties that he should be engaged in, kind of thing. He has an assignment and everything like that. So his goal is absolutely to get back to that.
Yeah. So you had that conversation away from Braxon.
Yeah, it was probably just like
Well,
in passing or something.
Yeah.
If are you going to tell Braxton about that?
Yeah. Again,
Yeah.
in passing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Whatever.
Linnaeus would have absolutely told you if he was planning to not accompany you further.
Yeah.
And he had earlier absolutely made it clear to you that his goal was to get back to the Elven Imperial Navy. This
Yeah.
sphere, of course, throws a wrinkle into it, but it would be
Yeah.
reasonable to assume, like in your own mind, that
Yeah.
he's not going to actually leave us here. Probably.
Yeah.
Solas wanted to clarify it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I was talking about Braxon specifically.
Yeah.
next time we have a meal, Braxton would, like all the officers eating together, he'd be invited to those. Braxton would say, I heard you said this. Of course, you've helped us all. You're welcome to stay with us all the way to Brow Space. If there's anywhere you want to hop off beforehand, like if we get to Grey Space before Brow, I'm assuming you probably want to get off. My question to you is, what do you want to do about the cloaking helm, as it's your property that we're looking after? Do you want to give that to these elves, or do you want to give it to your own elves in Grey Space?
That is a helm properly that should properly be on the base that I served on. So I would prefer to take it with me when I can when we either get to Gray Space or when I can get in touch with an Imperial ship that can take me to Gray Space. So until that happens, I'm
Okay.
perfectly happy lending it to you.
Yeah.
The time.
Okay, we'll carry on as we are. So my other question to you then would be: do you want to stay with us on our ship, or would you want to travel on the man of war that comes with us?
They will have plenty of officers on board. I would just be a guest there as much as I am here, since I would not be assigned to it. So I will
Okay,
stay
well,
on your vessel.
Yeah, you've been very useful to us, so I'm glad you're staying.
It has been a pleasant journey, all things considered.
Yeah, it has. It has. It's been a sort of
Being good for your health. Lafdul chuckles to
It's-
himself.
it's been a sort of an unintentional friendship, I feel, where neither of us would have chosen for you to be here, but we're both happy that you're here.
Indeed, indeed.
I don't think any of us would have asked for the demons or the war that we got into or anything like that. But it has gone well.
Well, that's
Considering.
what life is, adventure.
Most certainly, most certainly. And
Yeah, so
I
as
have made many friends here on your vessel that I hope to keep for all your lives.
That'd be good.
Solas,
Yeah.
Solas also notes about the journey that it has been quite enlightening about many things.
All right. So another day will pass, and Erlor will come to you to let you know that the following day you will be able to see the Admiral. And they're also prepared to hold the ceremony for handing over the ship's flags.
Oh, did we get
Oh,
any
yeah.
history about the flags? Do they recognize any of them?
They did
They're
not. No,
unlikely
they
to
did
know.
not.
They're unlikely to know. Unless you've got some spells that could
Yeah, there are
pull the
spells
history
that
out
do
the
that, but
pull the history out the flags. Well, now would be the time to do it if there's going to be a.
no, there weren't any. I couldn't get any out of that. Didn't I already try this?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I mean, like what they'd be able to tell you is just like from context, and given the apparent age of them, they're pretty clearly from the Unhuman War, trophies taken at that time. So, like the ships could have been from anywhere, like any of dozens of spheres where elves and goblinoids were fighting, kind of thing. So.
Mhm.
That is not something that they don't know those ships. But it's also like, going to someone in the U.S. and saying, "Hey, I know an American. Do you know so and so?" And they're like, "No, they don't even live in the same city as me," kind of thing. So, but they hold a solemn ceremony for the handing over of them. You'd recognize that there's this is an unusual situation, so
Yeah.
they clearly had to make this up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like Lafdul, you can see evidence of like elven religious ceremonies built into this
try
kind of thing.
to chime in with like suggestions based on what happens at home.
Oh no! I mean they've formulated a procedure that you don't need to do anything. They've already done this. It's just like more of an unusual situation that doesn't have a fixed procedure for, and especially given the age and everything like that. But the formal handover has a number of elven warriors standing at attention with swords straight up in front of them, as you like pass between them and formally hand them folded up in a very specific way. Linelius would have taken care of that. To the Vice Admiral Commander of the Crown Base. And it's a solemn ceremony. There's a brief speech given in Elvish, thanking the service of the crews of these vessels to the Elven Imperial Navy, and thanking you for liberating them from the enemies of the Elven Imperial Navy and returning them to the fold. And they will be given places of honor.
Sounds good.
And informally, they would also inform you that they will keep them in a safe storage place until, like, the commander of the squadron, or the current commander of whatever squadron they were part of, can be located eventually.
Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good. Yeah, Braxon's just happy that the flags are with people that respect the crews that had them.
Yeah.
Question.
Mhm.
Do the Elven Imperial Navy ship flags have any indication from which sphere they might have come?
No.
Commonly.
I mean, nothing
So-
that you could make out, and that's partly because
War as well.
they can be just sent across, to other spheres on a whim, and I mean, not really on a whim, but at any time, kind of thing.
Mm.
So no knowledge on the flags from the origin sphere of the ship.
No, at least nothing that you can figure out.
Okay.
Out of curiosity, has there been any trophies of the unhuman wars that the elves have kept of the goblins anywhere?
Individual, you would know that individual members might do that, but the Imperial Navy itself does not formally hold that kind of thing. They, as a formal thing, the Elven Imperial Navy kind of looks down on that,
Mm-hmm.
seeing
I
that
think so.
as kind of
It's garish, so.
yeah, it's a bit gauche. Number one, especially when it comes to goblinoids and stuff like that, they see it as elevating them too high in, like, why are you celebrating these foes who we kicked their butt? They sucked, kind of thing. So, but otherwise, it's like they don't have. They'll have some history things, but generally it's more about the elves who fought and died valorously than anything about the enemies, other than just like basic historical information. All right. So that night, you are all sleeping soundly in your quarters when something wakes you up, and you all wake up with an absolutely abysmal headache. And you realize that there is there's movement about your vessel as well, and low-level calls of concern about, man, and you realize that your entire crew woke up the same way. Who is asleep? The people, like, getting up and about, you'll discover that all of the members of your crew who were awake didn't notice anything, except there's also an alarm going on the some sort of alarm going on the Crown Base. Looking over there, you can see, you guess, the same kind of thing happened.
Yeah.
I cast Detect Magic.
Okay. You do not detect any magic out of the ordinary. You're just detecting your own magic.
I guess if
go
we
ahead.
have time, I'll get myself armored shield weapon ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like.
I think Braxon will tell people to get ready just in case the base is under attack.
Yeah, Lafdul will say, at least I didn't detect any magic, as I'm guessing stuff. I probably would have shouted that out. You know.
Is there Braxon won't get ready himself yet. Is there someone on the dock? all the
Yeah,
time?
so it's like you guys all woke up with a headache, and just like this a bit of a sense of foreboding.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of creating a low level of disquiet amongst your crew, because basically everyone woke up at
Yeah.
at about the same time. And even Lafdul, like even though you don't sleep, you were not immune to that either. Looking at the, so you talk amongst yourselves, and you're looking over at the crown base. They're not under an obvious attack. You're not seeing any ships in the nearby space firing upon them. But that same sense of disquiet is over there as well. The elves who were standing on guard over your vessel at the gangplank seem to not know what's going on, because they were awake. Whereas you're definitely seeing like movement
So
in
Braxon's
an
going to
urgent
tell
manner over on the other vessel.
Braxon's going to tell the rest of the officers to get ready, and he'll ask one of the crew to get his stuff ready for him to come back to the cabin and get dressed quick. But he's going to run out and talk to the person on the dock and say, "We've all woke up with a headache. It seems like there's something wrong with the base. Do you need assistance?"
We are unsure right now. Something has definitely happened.
Okay, I'm going to get my crew ready just in case your base is under attack and you need us to help you. If you need us to help us, then we'll do what you need us to do.
Understood. They also grab. Hold on just a second. They also grab a passing sailor and give him some instructions in Elvish, and he runs off. Yes, Solas?
Solas looks for his herbal supplies for willow bark to make some headache painkillers for his headache.
Okay.
It's like a normal occurrence for you. It's just really bad today.
So the headache begins to fade, but the sense of disquiet, the sense of foreboding doesn't. And you're not sure if that's external or internal, whether that's just related to the how you woke up, or if there's something else at work.
Do I get any special kind of feeling?
Are you going to try to detect evil intent?
Yeah.
There's something.
But
you cannot determine its location. It's just like, and it's strange. It's not something that you've felt before quite like that. Like, you definitely detect something, but you are not sure what it is or what exactly is going on.
I'm gonna wave over one of the Elven Navy people and say, "I sense something evil. I've never sensed anything like this before."
You're not exactly sure if it's that. Like, again, you've never sensed it quite before, so you're not sure exactly what you're sensing. It could be like a bleed over. Something is just, giving you a false positive, because it's very strange and it's very non-distinct, and you cannot pinpoint it at all.
Well,
hey, what about the customers?
Well, I'll mention that to one of the Elven Navy people, that I'm sensing something. It's triggering my ability to sense evil intent. I'm not sure if it's what exactly it is, but it's strange. I've never felt anything like this before. So
okay, I'll say that
guard.
I'll say that you did that before, like at about the same time Braxon did.
Yeah, that's fine.
So they'll add that to the instructions that they gave to the sailor that they sent off.
Okay. On the way back to his cabin to get his armor on, Braxon's gonna pull Hula out of his pocket where he hastily put him, and he's gonna send him up in the air in observation mode and say, Hula, there is something strange happening here. We don't know what. Have a look around the ship while I get dressed, and let me know if you see anything that doesn't look like normal elven activity.
You get kind of
Any
a perception
creatures?
of understood as the owl
Yeah.
wings
Are
out
you
to
told the
fly around.
elves you've got that? Because
Nope.
they might just shoot it down.
They might do. Braxton hasn't thought about that.
Oh well, that's science.
But he has done this in front of the elven officers that were nearby.
Yeah.
So they might not shoot it down, but someone else might do.
I mean, it's just an owl.
Are you trying to get it all to attack my owl?
No.
All right. So shortly thereafter, Errolor will come up to the gangplank quickly. The two elves on duty salute him as he passes by and gives him like a salute that's clearly perfunctory and just like a muscle memory reaction as opposed to something that he consciously did. And he's clearly seeking you out, Braxon, so a crew member will fetch you and any other officers that
Yeah, Braxton will
they find along the way.
Braxton will be doing the end of putting his armor on and his cloak on and all that.
You probably would have gotten that all on by now.
Okay.
It's been like a good
Yeah, I'll
10
be
minutes,
there.
I mean, it's been at least 10-15 minutes kind of thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would have had my armor. My detect magic would have faded. I would have told the other spellcasters in the group that it wasn't magical, or at least nothing that had any residue.
So Braxton will snap a salute to him and say, "Are you in trouble? We're ready to assist in any way."
Yes, of a sort. We have something very worrying has happened down in Darethal. Everyone down there is asleep.
What? Elves asleep?
Yeah,
Oh.
he looks at you and gives you a solemn nod. Like this is something has happened.
Everyone. What, the whole moon?
Yes.
But
Mm.
isn't that impossible?
It's not something we've ever encountered before.
Sounds
We would
incredibly
request
unlikely.
your accompaniment. We are sending a small vessel down with some of our most powerful spellcasters to try and see what we can determine, and we are formally requesting your assistance on that matter.
Okay. Let me go through my officers. You want all of us or just the best of us?
He's basically asking for the PCs. If you want to have some other people come along as well, that's up to you.
I think the PCs might be enough if they are sending their own people as well.
Yeah, if we don't know what's made things go asleep, we might not want to bring a load of NPCs that fall
Yeah,
asleep.
plus we also want to keep our ship secured.
Oh,
So, I mean, like he would give you a like if you have questions, he can answer it. And basically, what he'll be telling you is that they're going to be sending some their most powerful spellcasters and some elite warriors and stuff like that. They don't know what's going on, whether there's an attack down there. They can't afford to like make the crown base vulnerable, and they're most definitely not asking you to make your ship vulnerable. But they do recognize that your officers are the best on your vessel, so that's why they're asking them. But they're not. They're not specifically asking for you to like bring down GIF and dwarves and
what's your away
stuff
team?
like that.
We have some Hawaii in case you think it's a problem of bad air, but obviously if we can't refresh the air envelope of an entire moon.
Right. No, it's like that would be.
That's a bigger problem if that was the case.
They're not asking for that.
Right.
They're basically asking for additional weaponry to guard their spellcasters. Is kind of what the impression that you're getting.
As everyone's coming together, Braxton's going to say, "Has anyone got magic that stops us falling asleep?"
I've got a blessed watchfulness memories, which does protect. Well, it gives you more resistance to that kind of effect. but I've only got one such spell memorized.
And that
Right.
said, considering that
Elves fell asleep.
yeah,
Which
how good will that help?
means-
Would that be kind of thing?
I've also got another spell, Impregnable Mind, that might help. I did memorize today.
I mean, it might be better to save anything for.
Oh yeah, I'm not casting it
Yeah.
now. It's the Blessed Watchfulness does last like a day, so well, half a day. Yeah, no, I'm. I don't know. We'll just see how it is when we go down there.
All right. Anyone else have anything that they want to prepare?
It's just deciding what kit to take down. I guess Braxton will take down quite a few weapons because we're not
A
planning
day's
on.
worth of food, or a few days probably. I mean, there's probably gonna be food down there. I doubt it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's gonna be, a few days. I suppose.
You're going down on a ship. If there's anything really bad, they'll pull you out, kind of thing. They'll fly back.
How long does
Yeah.
protection from chaos last?
I think it matter of rounds.
Yeah, it's something you cast just as you fight in combat.
Okay, I just haven't. Yeah, it's 3 runs per level. Okay, I might throw that up if we run into combat. Then there's something I don't know. It can protect from some mind affecting things.
It'll protect you against my chaos.
Okay.
I just have that in Cure Light Wounds prepped.
All right.
Yeah. I have spells, but he knows he can't prepare for everything. There's just mainly
Yeah.
items.
I guess Braxis is going to make sure his Iron Stone is going around him.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember what that one does. Da, 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 da. Did I have the Iron Stone of you don't need to breathe air? Where is it? Oh no, it protects from drain attacks. Right.
Which is still pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
whether it'll have any use here
I'm
at
not-
all, who knows? But
Yeah, I'm not knocking that at all. Braxton, before he goes, if I've forgotten his name. If Nor is around, he's gonna give him his old ring of protection because he's used the new ring of protection and his arm hasn't fallen off.
okay.
He's gonna say, wear this, it should protect you.
All right. Nora, thanks you for that. And you guys all ready to go with Erlor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, ready-ish, I guess.
Okay. You board a Shrike ship that's docked with the Crown base, and you are really packed in. Like it is standing room only, essentially, as you are surrounded by mostly Averiel, some Aarakocra, and some other elves. And there's a number of, many of them are garbed as priests or wizards.
Is Braxton having a bad reaction to this, or are we immune to it now?
I think you'd be fine.
You get acclimatized.
Averiel feathers don't shed as much as Aarakocra do. Because,
Right.
for one thing, Averiel only have feathers on their wings. Aarakocra have feathers all over their bodies.
Yeah.
But there's definitely like a worry as they pack you in. Linelius would want to come along with you, but it's up to you if you're bringing anyone else along.
Before we enter the moon, Solas would cast protection from evil 10 feet radius.
Okay.
It lasts for 1 turn per level, so it would be 10 turns.
Okay. All right. So once everyone is situated, the ship pulls away from the Crown base and begins to descend. You're basically below deck, so you can't really see what's going on. But after just a matter of about 10-15 minutes, you feel the ship jolt slightly as it lands, and you're able to come up on deck and descend to the basically the flight deck that you've landed on, down on the planet, the moon. You are surrounded by greenery here. The deck below you is flat and kind of spongy, like living wood, because that's what it is, but it is completely flat. It has clearly been sculpted, and you can see walls and everything have been sculpted out of wood and vine of immense proportions.
Gnarly as
Doors,
hell.
like doors and windows, the doorways and windows are all like grown or shaped or something like that rather than cut. You do not see boards. It's all grown up and shaped and everything around you. And you can see like there are a number of buildings, and it stretches away into what you'd guess are essentially like hangar type situations. And all around you, you see elves and a Variel and a Aarakocra on the ground, asleep.
Right.
And as you get down and come out, like a wave of sleepiness comes over you, but you're able to shake it off, and it seems to like almost be like a rolling situation, because you can see the people in front of you get kind of drowsy and then snap out of it, and then you get drowsy, and then the people behind you can hear, and it's like something is rolling through you all as this is
Keep each
happening.
other awake.
It doesn't seem as strong, like it's not very strong, so you're guessing that something, like there was an initial trigger,
Yeah.
and that's what put everyone to sleep, and then whatever is coming after it is like more like aftershocks.
Since you said that it came at us like a wave, can we roughly estimate which direction it came?
Yeah, the elves are already on that, and Errolor says, based on what's happening, we believe it's coming from the central citadel. There are some other elven officers issuing orders. The elves are spreading out. The warriors, in particular, are heading out in small groups of threes in various places to look around, while the core of the spellcasters are, some of them are beginning to cast some spells, and others are studying the situation through magic items and things of that nature. They're all like, like everyone is in motion.
Have any of the people who've come down with us fallen asleep?
No, at least not yet.
Right.
Solas ponders to himself, and if there's party members nearby, that could this have anything to do with the Admiral's nightmares?
Maybe.
Most likely.
Since it's coming from the central citadel.
We can't rule anything out at the moment. Has anyone got anything that will wake these elves up?
Solas would try few methods.
There is a literal spell that does that. I don't think our wizards have it though. Wasn't it like alarm or something? Not alarm. Awake.
There's a number of spells that can do that.
How far from the citadel are we?
You are a few hundred feet. You basically landed on the like kind of a flight deck outside of the citadel.
Okay.
Because you can see like flitters lined up in various places. You also suspect that some of the farther buildings may, like given their size, may actually be places where they're growing new vessels.
Oh, right. Okay.
So some of the elves are already going to try to wake up some of the sleeping people.
Okay.
Do you want to try yourself? Like, what do you want to
Yeah.
try?
Yeah, Solas, like Lafdul mentioned on the Roll20 chat, Solas would also check with healing if there's any normal method of waking them up.
All right.
Yeah, there's no like, well, there's no like equivalent of like smelling salts back then in this, is there?
Absolutely
I
there
don't know
are,
if-
but I don't know that you have
Oh.
any.
Oh,
Smelling
it's not
salts are
like
pretty
part of
universal.
like.
But I mean, it's
So-
definitely the kind of thing that you would need to say that you were purchasing. Yes,
No,
Finn.
I didn't realize that was.
That's fine. Yeah, Finn?
Next time we shop, I'm buying smelling salts then.
I thought it would be like standard
But
healers.
Solas will
hold on,
try
hold on,
a
hold on.
few.
I thought I heard Finn wanted to say something.
Yeah. It's going to take a turn to do, but Finn would like to cast commune with nature in the direction of the citadel.
Okay. All right, so
Nice.
you begin casting that. Laugh will go ahead and make your healing check.
No.
Okay, so you go to the nearest Variel, I'm sorry, and bend down and begin checking. They are definitely asleep, not in reverie. They're definitely asleep, and they seem to be having a nightmare. Like beneath their eyelids, their eyes are moving rapidly, and there's occasionally like a shudder or a shiver, or a jerk. And they're not sleeping peacefully, kind of thing.
No, they're free.
Solas would be checking Ockar while Lafdul checks Avariel.
Yeah, I try to rouse them.
All right.
Obviously, I'm not gonna. I
Not
might do
injure
like a
them,
point
but-
of damage. Well, no, I would. I'd like cut them on the tiniest bit on the finger or something. Something that was sharp, pain. Ow! That would wake you up.
Now that I'm here on the planet, do I feel any like stronger feeling from that feeling if I'm using detect evil intent and like looking at these people?
Now you can begin to tell that what you were sensing before is in the direction of the Citadel.
We gotta go to the Citadel.
Well, we gotta
Okay.
wait for Finn.
All right.
Well, Finn's gotta hurry it up because whatever's causing this is at the Citadel.
We can't hurry up. Spells take the time they take.
So the other elves are also casting spells as well. So it's not like you can rush
Braxon's
ahead or
going to
anything like
send.
that,
Yeah, we
while
are
the-
not.
or rush them, I should say.
While everyone's getting ready, Braxon's going to send Hula out into the sky, and he's going to say, "Find me anything that isn't one of the people that just got off this ship that's awake."
All right, it flies around, flies off.
That's-
And Finn, you complete your spell as the other elves are also completing some spells and getting preparations wrapped up. And you bend down to commune. You place your hands on the wooden flight deck that is clearly living wood. And do you get a number of questions that you can ask?
I can know one fact for each level of experience.
Okay. I think that still kind of takes the form of like asking a question. Let me
Yeah. Know one fact ahead, left, or right about the following subjects: the ground, plants, minerals, bodies of water, people, general animal population, presence of woodland creatures, etc. The presence of powerful, unnatural creatures also can be detected, as can the general state of the natural setting.
Okay.
Those last two are definitely of interest, as well as any people that might be awake. General animals population,
All right.
and
So
if they're awake,
you're 9th level, right?
yes.
Okay. So you can get 9 facts. What do you want to know first?
Presence of a powerful unnatural creature.
Okay. You get a kind of a mixed response from the plants, and you can tell it like with your commune. You are not actually communing with a whole bunch of plants. You're communing with one enormous plant here.
Okay.
This whole, at least the base itself, is a single plant entity.
Okay.
You're not too sure about beyond that, but the impression you get is that there is something very wrong in the Central Citadel, whether it's unnatural magic or an unnatural entity. You're not sure. Like that, the plants are not sure, but there is something wrong there.
Okay. So next one I'd want to know about is people.
So far as the plants know, there are no people who are awake.
Okay.
Other than yours, other than the brand new ones who just arrived.
Okay. How about general animal population?
The animal population is relatively light, and they are in a state of like they're suffering anxiety or being very anxious, but they're awake.
Okay.
So it's mostly things like rats and insects and small birds and things like that. There's not a whole lot of animal life here, like in large quantities and numbers and varieties.
Okay. Do I detect any woodland creatures?
No,
Okay.
other than elves.
Other than that, I think I can let the spell go there. Because I don't think there's anything useful to this situation I'm gonna find out of that.
Okay. And for woodland creatures, I'm assuming more like sprites and brownies and that kind of thing. That was my impression.
Yep.
Okay. So you get some basic information about in general the plants are healthy, and stuff like that. Nothing else. None of the other facts stand out as being relevant or of immediate interest, kind of thing.
Okay. I will relay what I've learned to both the party and the elves.
So some of their spellcasters are concurring that they have detected that there is something unnatural in the Citadel. They have not been able to determine what, and their spellcasters are making like preparations to head there.
I'll mention my detect evil intent that it's clearly something evil.
And they will say, they'll be like, it's good to know, thank you. So they're getting prepared to head in there, and like looking to you and asking if you're prepared to go in.
Right.
Yeah, I'll have my
Yep.
I'll have my sword and shield. I'll have my long spear ready.
Praxis.
Solas mentions that he knows few spells that might cause nightmares and such, but none of the spells that he knows about could cause it on such scale and cause elves to fall asleep on where they stood.
You gave me a horrible nightmare one day.
So at least one of the elves has cast another detect magic, or has cast a detect magic and has not detected magic.
Braxon's,
Yeah, go ahead, Braxon.
Braxon's going to turn to Ockar and say, your ability to detect evil, will it give you a direction?
Well, right now it's just pointing towards the Citadel. Other than that, I do not know. Usually it only works when I'm looking directly at somebody, but right now, whatever it is so powerful, I can just sense it.
I think you should lead the way, and if you lose the sense to detect where the thing is, then we'll deal with it from there.
Fair enough. I guess I'll lead the way to the Citadel then.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Can I... This is more of a spellcraft check question. would I know that? Is it possible to hide spells from the School of Thoughts from Detect Magic? Or would I know if it would be more of the invisible art kind of thing?
It's more along the lines of, like, I mean, there might be things that can make them undetectable to something like Detect Magic. I mean, there absolutely are, like, non-detection, depending on what you're detecting, non-detection can block Detect Magic for sure. As to something specific about, like, the Thought School and stuff like that, that you don't know.
But wouldn't non-detection block my detect evil intent?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Solas also mentions that the source of this strangeness could very well also be psionic.
Yeah, so I was thinking it's probably psionic.
It could.
Since we are not detecting magic.
Oh, that's why I want the detect PSP spell.
Detect psionics, yeah.
Yeah,
Wait,
that's a good right now.
PSP, you want to track PlayStation Portables?
All right, so
Sidebar.
the elves are ready to head in, and I just want to give a shout out to Lord Gosumba for bringing us a raid. Thank you very much. The party has encountered a sphere of essentially lost elves, lost or disconnected from the larger Elven Imperial Navy, and while there and discussing the situation with them. Their main base, every single person there has fallen asleep, elves and non-elves alike. So that is the current situation. All right, so the elves are preparing to advance towards the citadel, and they're expecting, they're wondering if you're prepared to go forward with them.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
literally leading the way to the Citadel since I can detect this thing.
Yeah.
Well, you have to basically stand and focus to use your detect evil. It's not like a
I know, but I
constant
imagine
thing.
once we get to the Citadel, I can stand and focus and try to figure out where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I
at the same time, this is their facility. They're going to be leading the way. You can be up near the front, like in the Vanguard kind
yeah,
of thing,
no, I'll
but
be up
the
near the
elves are
front
going to be
then.
leading the way.
I
Yeah.
meant he could lead our group.
Yeah.
I'm leading
Like-
the party.
Okay.
Like
Gotcha.
if we get somewhere and there's 4 ways to go,
Yeah.
then we're gonna go Ockar which way.
Yeah.
And
All
then
right.
at some point he'll say I can't tell, and then we'll do other stuff.
All right. So, with the elves, you advance towards the citadel. Some of the other groups are coming back to report and join up. Some of them are getting sent off back to check other places and things of that nature. And you get to the main entrance to the citadel, which are a pair of very large doors. The doors themselves are like they're attached to hinges. They're manufactured doors, but the walls of the structure are all grown. Like there's no seam at the edge of the flight deck area. It just like smoothly transitions to a flat vertical wall. And the doors stand open, which the one of the elves will inform you is not unusual if there's no alert or anything like that, because people are constantly going in and out to go about their duties, that sort of thing.
Once we are inside the citadel, Solas will cast Fly on himself.
Okay. So you get in to the kind of the large foyer of the citadel. There are a number of passages leading off, and a grand staircase leading further up into the citadel. The elves are pretty clearly already on that route because that is towards the center of the citadel. But they are sending off a few small groups to check down the other passageways, and you can see like there's more elves and Aarakocra asleep.
I'm gonna hold up a hand and say, "Wait a second. I'm gonna try to use detect evil intent to try to pinpoint."
Okay. They hold while you do so, and that does confirm that it is continue on up the stairs kind of thing.
I point up the stairs that way.
Okay.
All right. as a group, you head up the stairs to the upper level, and the group continues to progress upwards, stopping periodically either for some of their spellcasters to cast a spell or for Ockar you to detect evil intent. More small groups are peeling off to check chambers. Some are coming back to give reports. So far, everyone appears to be having some sort of like they're no one is sleeping quietly. Everyone is sleeping disquietly. The guess at this point is that everyone is suffering nightmares.
Mm-hmm.
And you continue up until you narrow down the source of this coming from the officers' quarters at this facility. And you get there.
Before we enter the officers' quarters, I want to cast Protection from Chaos on Braxon.
Okay. So you'll get to like where the quarters are located, like the hallway and where all the quarters are off, and they've narrowed down that it is the Admiral's quarters is where the sensation is coming from. So before entering that, you can go ahead and cast that spell on.
I am
Braxon.
casting a spell as well.
All right.
I'm casting Impregnable Mind on myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Protection from Chaos and Braxon, it should give him some defenses against chaotic forces.
Okay. All right.
Do I need to write stuff down for this, or?
I'll bring it up.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Just remember that you have that on you, and you can ask
Yeah,
if it.
mine only lasts like 19 rounds.
It basically acts like protection from evil, but towards chaotic things.
Yeah.
So the elves are they take up put some guards at the door, and one of the warriors steps forward to open the door, and discovering it is locked, they smash it down.
If it's locked, I could have just unlocked it.
Well,
I could point a finger and unlock the door.
Okay, so they're about ready to, the warrior
Yeah, I'll just say, hold, this will save time, and I point at the door and knock.
Okay. There's a click as the door swings open. Errolor and some of the other elves give you a kind of a smile of thanks. And the warrior...
We rush in.
Well, the warrior kicks it open and kind of leaps in. Ockar, if you want to be like one step behind him, you can absolutely be so.
With my spear ready.
Braxton's going to go whatever way Ockar doesn't go. So if Ockar's going right, Braxton go left.
Okay, then the elf will be in the center. And then a few more elves begin to come in behind you. The room initially appears undisturbed completely. It's a very opulent. These are the quarters of the admiral in charge of the entire fleet, the entire Sphere's fleet. So it's very well appointed. There are things of considerable age about like art objects, elven objects. And the elves begin spreading out through the chambers. One heads to the bedroom and calls out, "He's in here asleep!" And
I'll follow that, and when I'm in the room, I'm going to use Detect Evil Intent on the Admiral.
Okay. So, entering, or at least looking in through the doorway into the bedroom, you can see the Admiral. He is asleep on the bed, which again, like Lafdul to you, like you can tell the difference between sleep and reverie, and this is not right. Like the fact that he's asleep, and he is tossing and turning violently in bed, covered in sweat. Ockar, you detect evil intent, and there is absolutely evil. You cannot tell like what it is or where exactly it is, but it is in his direction, but it is not him itself. And a group of elven spellcasters, some priests and wizards, come in and immediately begin casting some spells to try and figure out what's going on.
I'm gonna say, as I'm using my detect evil intent, I think something's either he's possessed or something is affecting him in his dreams. Something that's caught him in this nightmare state.
Braxon says, could he be wearing a cursed item?
Nothing that could affect an entire planet. That's like the wrath of a god that's doing that, or something extremely powerful.
Possible that he's possessed by some kind of demon or something that's trying to take him over.
Errolor says, yes, we're attempting to determine what exactly is going on. The spellcasters complete their spells and consult with each other. And
Braxon mutters to the people in the party. Remember that creature that was charming some of the human men on Brow?
Oh, I
Was
think
it-
this is beyond that. The Vulpine.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what we've got that could shock myself out of that.
I'm gonna ask if any of the elves like have spelling salts on them.
Given the strength of what they've encountered so far, like they're already like that. There's no way that's gonna work, kind of thing.
True. It was just a thought.
Who's the authority on the elves that are with us?
The Vice Admiral is actually leading the group. Errolor is the one that you can talk to if you want anything. Standing with you.
I pose a question. I have a spell that wards me against psionic and magical influences, but it's not going to last forever. But I also have another spell that would allow me to read memories. I could try that, but I would only want to do that while my other protection spell's up. If you want to pass that along.
Can you cast that protection spell on the Admiral himself? Would that perhaps
I've
sever
already
whatever
cast
is-
it on myself, unfortunately, at this point. I wasn't sure what we were getting into.
No, that is understandable. We're trying to determine exactly what is going on.
I'm gonna. Does anybody have a protection from evil spell?
We've already got it up with Solas.
Yeah, 10-foot
Oh, yeah.
radius.
As long as we're near
I do have
Solas.
normal protection from evil.
But is the 10-foot radius like encompassing the admiral?
You can put yourself in such a way that it is.
And that's not helping.
It does not.
Braxon says,
So the elven spellcasters complete their spells and quietly converse. Then with the Vice Admiral, and the Vice Admiral then turns to speak in such a way that everyone can hear. And she says, "There's something in his dreams. What exactly it is, we do not know, but it is affecting all of those around. It has not gotten to their dreams, but it is what has put them into the sleep state. We can try to enact a barrier that will cut that off, these waves coming off of him. But we believe that the only other way that we can bring him out is to send people into his dreams.
okay.
It is
I was
going to
wondering where-
take all of our magical power to erect the barrier and send people in." And she
I'm
kind
willing
of
to go
looks
in
at
to stop this.
Yeah.
she's like looking at you just as you speak up, and she says, "Your group has shown through Lanelius's reports and your own words that you are quite resourceful, and unfortunately, we need people who are very versatile in order to go into his dreams and do what you can to wake him up or fight off whatever it is that has taken control of his dreams. Would you do this for us?"
Of course, I can't stand by and let something like this go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my
I was- I was wondering about taking him out of the bed in case the bed was cursed. But yeah, sounds like we need to do this. Let's get it done. Sooner we
We
get
can-
in there, sooner we can rescue him.
I think if the bed was cursed, it would have eaten him or something.
Solas, Finn, are you in?
Yeah.
Finn's in.
Yeah, it's a given really with Lafdul.
Okay. All right. So, the significant group of the spellcasters begin to chant and weave magic together, and you can feel the waves of drowsiness that have been like washing over all of you. It begins to diminish in both of its effects and the duration or the time interval between those waves. It begins to increase until finally that's gone. And you can hear some groans from outside of the rooms as people who were asleep are beginning to wake themselves up. The Vice Admiral immediately dispatches some people to start getting reports, gathering the people up, getting them awake and everything. The with
That's been a real experience if you've never slept before to wake up from sleeping.
Yeldon fell asleep at one point.
Yeah, it is.
That's unusual.
It can definitely be a thing. Those spellcasters have to constantly work to maintain the barrier, and you can see like the barrier is visible, a visible field of magic that pulses every time one of the waves comes out and kind of hits it once the barrier is up. And the remaining spellcasters turn to you and say, we'll bring you some bedrolls for you to lie down in. Get yourself prepared, and we will send you into his dreams.
Oh no, Lafdul's like, I've got a spell that protects me from falling asleep or resists. Is this going to impede me?
It will not, since you are not truly falling asleep. That is an effect of it, but it is pulling your consciousness out of your minds and sending it into his own. We have no idea what you will encounter there or what the dangers will be. So prepare yourselves appropriately.
Okay, Braxton's gonna call back Hularat.
Okay. You are not sure exactly what they will not be able to tell you if spells that you cast before you are sent into the mind will continue to have an effect. They have no idea how any of that's going to work.
Yeah. Braxton doesn't know if Hularat can come with him if he's not in his pocket.
If this is like an astral projection.
He might have used his one use with Hularat. So I guess he'll find out.
Yep. All right.
Might be a stick when we go inside.
So you all prepare yourselves. You lay down on the bedrolls that they bring you. Is there anything anyone wants to do before you do this?
Do we need to know some information about the Admiral to prove that we've been sent by friends?
They have no idea what you're going to encounter there. They have no idea how it's going to react, how he will react to you, how you will react to him. They can't tell you. But if there's something you want to ask,
is there something we can say to the Admiral so that he knows that we've been sent by you?
The Vice Admiral says
something unique that only you two would know.
I have no idea if this will work, but you can say this word. And she gives you a word that sounds almost nonsense Elvish.
Yeah.
And she says, it is all I can do. I have no idea if that will help in any way.
Thank you.
Lafdul, it sounds like a nonsense word, maybe a pet name or something like that.
Something that unique to them, probably.
Yeah.
It means something to them.
And you all lay down. The elven spellcasters begin casting, weaving their magic together, and they will have to continue to like maintain this. So it is definitely like they would not be able to do much to help you either. It's not like a cast and then they can go wander away. But this is basically taking all of their spellcasters to do both of these tasks.
Oh, time for us to enter the Fade, like in Dragon Age, or just kill a dream demon.
And
I love that bit.
You all lay down, and you feel yourselves as the spell takes hold. You feel almost like your mind being pulled out of your body. It doesn't hurt at all. It's a very weird sensation, and everything goes black. And that is where we're going to take our break. We'll find out what you encounter in the Elven Admiral's dreams when we come back in about 10 minutes. I do want everyone to make a quick note because you will not be able to utilize all of your magic items. So
it's physical ability.
any you can take 2 weapons. So you will have to choose what 2 weapons you want to bring with you. Normal armor. So any rings you have, any cloaks you have, your armor, helmets, shields, that kind of thing. That's boots. All of that will be fine. And then 4 other items like wands, potions, scrolls, miscellaneous items.
Oh, what about my pouch and what I have inside the pouch?
Your pouch can be one, but things inside the pouch you need to decide on. I'm fine with non-magical stuff coming along.
Sad face.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, I'll just take 30 items with this one item.
The important thing Braxon wants to know is his dream body taller?
No, it's actually shorter.
It's a nightmare, then, quite literally, because you're the same height.
So yeah, you'll be able to take 4 miscellaneous items. Like I said, 2 weapons. All of your armor is fine. And if you have questions, you can ask me, or when we get back, you can ask.
I was thinking you put on roll 20 or something.
So amulets and such can be taken.
Rings are fine, but amulets and stuff, and ion stones and things like that are in the 4.
They count.
Okay, so my non-detection amulet is one of those.
So I can't take my Scarab of Protection is counted in that.
Yep. All right. Well, I mean, to be fair, Ockar, you're in the best situation here because you're a paladin limited to 10 magic items anyway. So.
I know, but I have to pick
easier.
potion.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. You got to pick potions.
And I just picked out like my 4 items as being potions because I thought I could take my amulet stuff.
No, unfortunately. All right, so we will be back after the break. So it was a good time for everyone to stretch your legs, get something quick to eat or drink, and we will be back in about 10 minutes.
See you on the other side.
We'll see you then.